Yo guys, it's Shazam here, and I know it's been a while. As you can hear, my audio quality is ass, but I just wanna kill time and entertain you with something. It's gonna be a recycled video, a spite match, something I don't like doing, but it seems like people need to hear it a lot more. And today I have with me my friend. You wanna introduce yourself?
Oh, it's Divine Junior here.
So we're gonna be discussing Sage Jiraiya versus Sage Naruto, the pain arc specifically, or you can say the war arc, because there is no evidence of Naruto getting stronger between these two times because base Naruto has been consistently the same. So what arguments do you want to talk about first?
Okay, so the first argument that people try to use is when it's stated that when Paul states that Naruto surpassed Jiraiya after he one-shots the Asura path. Well, you can start with this if you want.
Yeah, that was in reference to both Minato and Jiraiya. So if
Yeah.
you want to say he surpassed Jiraiya, then you have to agree that he also surpassed Minato overall, since that's what they say. Uh,
Yeah.
but we know that's not the case, and you can't really pick whatever you want in statements. Like cherry picking is not something that you normally do with statements. So it's either he didn't surpass any of them, or he surpassed both of them. Or we can go with a more logical stance and examine what he meant. So Minato has perfect Sage mode, but can't maintain it for long. Jiraiya can maintain his Sage mode, but it's not perfect. And Naruto has both of these advantages. Therefore, he surpassed them in Sage mode. That's the logical one.
Yeah. And you can also add that the statement is often misinterpreted as like uh, to showcase superiority on Naruto's case. But you can just argue that we're given contextualization through the forms of a subject premise pertaining to the old forms of sagehood. And after this quote, Grams, do you see these old familiar forms? We're showing flashbacks to both Minato and Jiraiya, who both had problems with sagehood, as you've already explained. So it can't be about strength.
I didn't understand the first part, but I agree.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and there is no difference between perfect Sage mode and imperfect Sage mode, with the exception of the chakra balancing, which just puts the user at risk of transforming into a toad. So it doesn't affect the overall power, and there is no such thing as a perfect sage in canon. The only time it was used, it was in reference to Kabuto's perfect sage mode, quote unquote perfect sage mode. When he said it, he was comparing it to Orochimaru's sage mode, which Orochimaru doesn't have. So a perfect sage is just someone who entered sagehood: Jiraiya, Kabuto, Minato, Hashirama, Naruto. There is no such thing as a perfect sage in this series. That is referring to the perfect balance of chakra. That is just sage mode.
Yeah, and the term imperfect never comes up in the manga.
Yeah, it's just not full mastery. That's all. That's all it is.
We can also add that the data book pretty much confirms that the statement is in reference to Mastering Sagehood.
Yeah, he attained Sage mode beyond his predecessors or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's just about Sage mode, not overall strength. And we also know that Sage mode boosts base power, or like the already your already existing power. And we do know that Jiraiya would absolutely destroy base Naruto. Okay, maybe we need to go to other arguments for now. Like what
yeah.
other arguments do you want to talk about?
A lot of people use the argument where Pain states that Naruto is like the furthest he's like ever been pushed, he's ever pushed him. But why would that be like specifically referring to the fight? Okay, sure, it happens during the fight. But why can't it just be like referring to like the whole Konoha invasion, where he fights multiple strong opponents, destroys the Leaf village, is holding back?
Yeah, this wasn't even in reference to Naruto. Like he said, that Naruto is strong, and this is the furthest Pain has ever been pushed. That would include
Yeah,
the intel, everyone who died to get that intel, and
yeah,
the whole basically war that happened beforehand. Jiraiya has a wide variety of techniques, so he gets the most out of Sage mode. Meanwhile, Naruto only boosts his Shadow clones and Rasengan. And it's like,
yeah, pretty much.
if he wants to maintain his Sage mode for like, we know that he can't maintain his Sage mode for long without two clones in Mount Myoboku just gathering natural energy. So if he
Yeah.
wants to maintain his Sage Mode for an extra like 10 or 20 minutes max, he'd have to give up one of his most important arsenal, which is Shadow Clone, like half his abilities. Because he
Yeah.
said that his the maximum amount of Shadow Clones he can produce while gathering natural energy using other clones is two. That's it. And with only two Rasen Shurikens, his Sage Mode runs out. So he's essentially cutting off a lot of his arsenal, like as I said, half, just so he can maintain Sage Mode. So giving him Sage Mode like throughout the fight would be unfair to Jiraiya. Not that it would matter, because Jiraiya would slap him anyway. And not only is Jiraiya like there is this argument where Rasen Shuriken has a powerful AP. Like, yeah, it does, obviously. It's arguably the strongest attack up
Yeah.
until, like, Six Path Garbage and Biju Bombs. Like, does Jiraiya really not have a counter to that? Like, he could use giant flame bombs, which is fire. It gets stronger the stronger Naruto's wind is.
Yeah.
Plus, he has Ma and Pa to amplify that fire. We've already seen Pa use wind style on top of his fire to produce like massive fire to burn the oil. So the attack essentially has fire powered by oil, powered by wind, and then powered by Naruto's Rasen Shuriken. The stronger the Rasen Shuriken, the stronger the fire is gonna be. So what
Yeah.
is Naruto gonna be trying to accomplish with the Rasen Shuriken?
And like Dry is even shown using 5 techniques at once. Like how overpowered is that?
Yeah, minus the Genjutsu, of course. So that's
Yeah.
kind of six. Also, he cloned both Fukasaku and Shima as well. So it's,
Yeah.
technically, he used two extra clones.
I guess we do, like other arguments now.
There is another argument. They say that Jiraiya doesn't have Frog Kita
Yeah.
because he's never shown it. Let's just ignore the fact that Jiraiya is listed as a user of Frog Kita. Okay, let's just ignore that fact
Yeah.
for now and just explain why he never showed it. Because every attack Jiraiya tried either landed or was blocked. None of them was dodged. And you need to dodge the attack for the invisible punches to actually land, because what's the point if it lands anyway? Yeah, what
Also
else?
seen people use a statement where Ma states that like when Ma first arrives in the village, she states that she senses like the same energies as when she rode atop Jiraiya's boy's shoulders. But again, that's presupposing that Ma knows like, and that's right after like Pain destroys the village. It's presupposing that Ma knows or can sense how much chakra a person has at any given time. So they need to. So you need to prove that she knows how much chakra Pain has.
Also, it doesn't really necessarily relate to the amount of chakra. It could be like the chakra signatures. Like, you don't need to know the amount of chakra to know who that person
Yeah,
is.
like it could even be referring to like Pain's potent chakra, because like I think we can all agree that Pain has like powerful chakra at this point in time.
No, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I might need to read more on potency of chakra, because the only chakra that's potent is probably Senjutsu, because it's the only one that inherently makes an attack more powerful.
Yeah,
There's also the argument of sensory, yeah, because Naruto managed to sense everyone around the world. Meanwhile, Jiraiya couldn't sense someone behind him. Like, oh, can we just take a moment and apply this logic to Jubito getting blitzed by Flying Raijin by Tobirama, or Madara getting blitzed by Black Zetsu? Is that okay to say like they have poor sensory? Although we've seen Madara literally describing Sasuke's Mangekyo and the pattern in it. Does Madara have trash sensory too? No, there's a simple explanation behind it, and that's Sage Mode sensory is not passive. You need to be on guard.
yeah,
I mean, like you can say, yeah, sure. Flying Raijin is an instantaneous, or at least near instantaneous. But how come Kid Killer Bee was able to react to Minato? It's because they knew he was gonna teleport somewhere, and they were all on guard. That's the only issue there is.
or
Also,
to keep it simple,
mm,
you can just say that Jiraiya was off guard and he still reacts. Like he actually does react to the Asura Path.
Yeah, he did react. He turned to the left, and suddenly we see his left arm just torn off. Like based on the special effects that we see on the scan, it appears that the Azure Path used an explosive attack from this close range, point blank, and Jiraiya probably turned left to block it, and that's how he lost his arm. That's probably how it happened. Now, all of this is not sure. It's just speculating based on what I've seen, and it's the most logical conclusion, honestly. Did he cut his arm off with a punch? When have you ever seen that? In Dragon Ball, maybe. Nappa just cutting off Tien's arm. I don't remember. I might have to rewatch Dragon Ball.
And the effects that are shown when he's like thrown out of the building.
Yeah,
Like the same with the rockets that the Asura Path uses.
yeah, and there's this argument that really pisses me off. It's like they look for every possible downplay possible for Jiraiya. It's like Pain was never gonna use his large scale attacks because he doesn't want to destroy the village. Meanwhile, there are scans showing Pain destroying buildings just to hunt Jiraiya down. People literally dying. I'll show the scans. Don't worry. And we do know that Pain literally killed everyone who opposed him. That's he doesn't give a shit. He just wants his ideology to take over. That's it.
And like, I guess like the last argument that people really use is arguing that Rain Village is the same as Leaf Village, and you can explain why this is just blatantly wrong if you want.
Yeah, sure. I mean, first off, he canceled his Rainmaker technique. That's the first thing. It's not really that big of a deal. It's basically a technique that produces rain throughout the Rain Village. So it obviously requires tons of chakra. Maybe not too much for Nagato, but it requires a significant amount. And he had to disable that jutsu when hunting down Jiraiya. Meanwhile, it's also stated that he keeps the jutsu on whenever he leaves the village. So against Naruto, the jutsu was still on. He was still producing chakra there. And then just fighting the likes of Kakashi, a whole army. Like, let's ignore the fact that Jiraiya performed literally better than everyone at the Leaf. Fighting an army, and then having to give up chakra supply to all the other paths for a single attack, and you're telling me that attack does not have any kind of consequences on his chakra supply for the rest of the fight? Especially since the Diva path did not regain his powers until 3 paths were down and the 4th was about to be taken down.
Yeah, and the very fact that like Nagato is shown coughing up literal blood and he's in his deathbed, like when people say that didn't affect him, it's really stupid.
Yeah, it's like he already had rods stuck into his body. He was, I don't know, malnourished. Is that the right word for it? Just having major strokes inside a tree while the Diva Path is exhibiting no emotions to those large-scale attacks. Are you seriously gonna tell me that Rain Village Pain had it easier than Leaf Village Pain?
Very, very stupid.
Yeah, Naruto. I mean, I don't like disrespecting Sage Naruto specifically, because I argue he's stronger than KCM, minus the downsides, of course. But it's like, by the way, any feats Naruto has in the war as a Sage just upscales Jiraiya, because he even specifies when he goes up against the third Raikage that Toad Sage mode is what provides these reactions. And since, as we established, there is no difference in power, sensory, or anything between perfect and imperfect Sage modes, that means Jiraiya would have access to the same power. And since we know that third Raikage is stronger than fourth Raikage, I mean, scales like way above him, and fourth Raikage scales to a suppressed Madara, then Jiraiya is stronger than Madara. That's what I would say if I was a normal power scaler.
And we just want to make it clear that we're not disrespecting or downplaying Naruto. We're just taking a fat shit over the arguments that people use for him.
No, we can't. We're kind of disrespecting him.
Yeah.
No, really. I told you yesterday, I'm not going to hide my bias, okay? This time, I'm not going to hide it. Just look at my bias.
If people want to be mad, they can be mad. We don't care. Jiraiya slaps
Yeah,
him.
Jiraiya takes a dump on him, and I'll just wipe the floor with Naruto's name. The 720 episodes he took just so everybody could acknowledge his name, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna wipe the floor with it.
Wow.
Yeah, about that, people are all about like healthy Itachi, healthy I don't know who, healthy. But can we just talk about healthy Jiraiya for a second? Because we do know that he took a really hard chest trauma against Naruto. I mean, a scar like that, we actually studied about the scars in college, so that's the funny part. I used that, like I actually read my curriculum just to make sure of that. This kind of scar, I don't know if that's the universal term, but it's an ugly scar that basically it was the damage was too severe for it to be repaired. So that would definitely have an impact on his chest area, including his heart, his lungs. So that would reduce his stamina quite a bit. So yeah, healthy Jiraiya slaps. And you can't prove otherwise.
I guess that's it, really. I mean, we probably could have like gone into more and delved into more information, but I guess that's it for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, I already have another video. This isn't like me trying too hard. This is just a light-hearted discussion video. I hope everybody's enjoying it. If you're not, then it's kind of your problem.
And by the way, for the people that are going to be mad, don't ask Shazam to debate because he doesn't debate. If you want to debate, you can come debate me and just message me on IG, BT Gates.
Yeah, I really suck at debating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I only text debate, so don't get mad, you VC Tods.
Okay, then. You heard the guy. Anyway, this is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm trying to fix a lot of the issues I have. Broken mic, broken spirit as well. Lost PSN account, but I'm still planning on videos. I'm not giving up. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe, please, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.